So I want to welcome you to Signs from Your Beloved Pet. It's going to be an interesting experience. You all know me and you've experienced stuff with me. We've had lights flash. We have had visions showing up on the screens. We've had orbs dancing on my shoulders. Um, Expect the unexpected. There have been messages coming through, and I'm going to share those tonight. You all know me. Just for the replay sake, I want everyone to know that my abilities include being able to feel, see, smell, and hear your pets and your loved ones. So it's never a dull moment here, and I'm never alone. And they like to talk to me when I'm in the shower and in the bathroom. It just doesn't stop. And so I can get this happening around the clock kind of thing. So I am going to share things. I've got messages to share with some of you now that are coming up. And the whole purpose of tonight is to bring you peace and comfort and an understanding that when you lose a pet, we all know it is got to be one of the worst things we have to go through, right? It's you wonder why you have a pet, but then when they look you in the eye, but that time when you lose your pet is really, really challenging. And I even though I can do what I do not like when that day comes either. So by the way, Judy, before I go any further, how is Bentley? Is he right there? Okay. Okay.
There he
He's been
is.
on my mind. There we go.
He's doing fantastic.
Yeah, crazy. Well, this dog, some of you may have seen a drawing that I did of Bentley on my website. So this is the famous Bentley.
So 3 years ago, we were told that he had bone cancer and that he had 2 to 3 months to live. We're now going into the 4th year.
Yeah.
And every time I call him, oh, there he is.
There you go. Hi, Bentley.
Hey, boy. There we go. Yeah, and he's doing fantastic.
Yeah, and I'm glad because we're going to talk about that, like his experience.
Mhm.
So this whole experience tonight is to bring you an understanding. I've been sending everybody who's on the call, as well as people who see the replay, I'm sending you all a healing to you, to your pets that are with you now and that have crossed over. So after, you might find that you feel tired, you might find that your pet feels tired, you might feel that the next day you both feel tired. If your pet's laying around tomorrow, don't get stressed, because I mean, it's energy work I'm doing on both of you. So just drink lots of water and honor yourself. If you feel tired, make sure you rest, because it's giving you a healing as well. Okay. I'm also going to talk to you now tonight about how pets choose when they cross and who's going to be with them. I'm going to give you signs on what you can look for from your pet when they've crossed over, how they're communicating with you, how they're trying to tell you they are okay with you, from the other side. And I'm going to answer any questions that you have, and I'm going to bring you messages that your loved ones as well as your pets have been coming to me. And again, ask your questions, as we're talking. Okay, sounds good? So, like I said, we're going to do the Reiki. The first thing that came up for me for everybody who's on the call today, that it's really important that you honor yourself and you make sure that you have, that time, quality time for yourself, because you're very, very busy. And so it's very important for you to get that balance of your time. Very, very important, and do the energy work. And when I'm saying that, the self-care around, we're in a world now where the energy is really strong, and, we can feel the energy from other people and pets. And what happens if you don't keep yourself in a good position, and place of health and wellness, your pet will take that on and absorb it. So it's really important to clear your energy and keep yourself protected. So the message that was coming through was to honor yourself, clear your energy, and do 2 Epsom salts baths per week to clear that energy. Okay, it's really important to do. And it only has to be 20 minutes in length. Okay, so that will help to clear you so that your pet doesn't absorb it and then, gets sick or is really, lethargic and laying around kind of thing. So that's the first kind of message that came through over when I was doing the healing on you. And just drink lots of water. Okay, that's really important to be doing now. I did feel that some of you are dehydrated because I felt like actually fur on my tongue. That's how it comes through to me. So Lori, you really need to drink a lot of water. Okay.
I actually have a bottle sitting here on the table.
Good girl. I'm proud of you. So, okay. So now what I want to talk to you now first, the first part about this is that the sign that your pet is going to give you when they're ready to cross. So the first thing I want to say is exactly Judy brought this up in the beginning that, she was told the Bentley boy, you know what? I always call him Bentley boy, Judy. I always have to say that, my friend Bentley boy, he always, he was, a vet tells you, it's time for him to go. Right. And that was what, 4 years ago now, Judy?
Well, it's 3 years and a month.
Right. So there's an example, she gets told this from her vet, right? The vet told you this, and that, I'm so grateful that, Judy, this is good that, Judy listened and didn't put her dog down, because this is an amazing dog that she's got, right? But so why I'm saying that is because your pet is going to decide when they go. And I went on a show with a woman who is a holistic vet. She's out of Florida, and she will not give any animal those needles, the final needles, to cross over. Instead, what she does is she does acupuncture on the animal and puts the actual needle in their third eye. And when she's doing that, the pet, if they're ready, they will cross over. But if they're not ready, they will not go. So she puts the ownership on the pet and doesn't make that decision for the pet in herself. So she's out of Florida. So if you're in your area, what you could do is do a search on holistic vets, ask if they do acupuncture, and ask if they will do that. If you've got a pet that time is coming. So that's information that I thought was amazing to know, that, it's not like you have to get concerned that, have you made the right choice or not? Because a lot of people can feel very guilty feelings and question, did I do the right thing? Was this right? What, shouldn't I have? And that can really consume people. So, that I thought that was an amazing option around the acupuncture. Also yourself, you've got the connection with your pet. You can feel what's going on, and you can tell yourself if your pet is ready. They will give you a look. That look, I can't explain it to you because every pet is different. But Ellen, you know what I'm talking about, right? You've experienced this, right? So I have had this. I've had 7 pets. They've all given me a look, but they were different. Now, Lori, when Saya, am I saying her name right? Saya? Saya. So when Saya crossed over, do you know what I mean by the look when you lost her? Did she give you a look?
I was not with her when she crossed over. She had been through surgery for a tumor, and she was actually coming out in recovery when she crashed. So I wasn't there when I lost her.
So before she went for the surgery, did she give you a look?
She did.
Was she looking unusual?
Well, very unusual. She did give me actually several of those looks because she was actually bleeding internally. The cancer or the tumor had broke open.
Yeah.
And so she had lost a lot of blood and was really weak. So and then we rushed her to the emergency vet. So yeah, there was nothing they could do.
Right. And so they will give you this look, but like I said, it can be different for every animal.
It is. I've seen it I've lost four 4 other dogs at this point, and I've seen that look, and it is different with every dog.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, so those are things to look for. Um, and if, if you're in doubt, I've had people come to me and they'll say, okay, the vet just gave me this news and I'm not comfortable with this. What is my pet telling you? And I had one dog, a little Yorkie named Miley, that she came to me. The owner brought her to me. She had cancer in her little tummy, and she had actually a hole in her tummy the size of like my thumb could go in the hole. That's how big it was. The abscess had burst. And you would
Mm.
think that logically this dog should be ready to go with this hole. Her tummy had opened. And she told me, no, I'm not ready. I have not done fully what I'm supposed to do. So I told the owner, Marla's not ready. She's not ready to go. So, she called the vet back and said, no, it's not time yet. So 3 weeks later, Marley woke me up in the middle of the night and told me, I'm ready. I'm ready. So the next morning early, I called her owner and I said, Marley came to me and said, she's ready now. And she said, well, the funny thing is, she said, she gave me the look that you told me about. And so she said, I'm okay with this now. I feel I've had my time with her and it's time. And I had spent some time with the owner and preparing her with this. And so what happened, she told me the time was for 2:30, that this was all supposed to happen. And so I was sending Reiki to Miley and telling the owner exactly what was happening, who had come over to get Miley, who was with her, and all the whole process that happened. And the owner said to me after that she was so grateful that she didn't do that 3 weeks earlier, because Miley wanted to take that time to prepare her. So, and when the time came, she was okay with that. So, your pet will go at the time when they're ready, right? So, I want to tell you a story about how our pet will choose who's with them and when they're going to go. So, Lori, this might be interesting for you because you were not with Saya when she crossed. And the example I'm going to give is about Molly. Molly was a Shih Tzu that I had, and we got her at 3 months old. She was abused. She was a little Shih Tzu, abused, cute as a button, big eyes. And she gave our dog Rocky 2 more years of life because he had a purpose. Here's this puppy bringing him more life. And then the time came that it was Rocky's time to cross. And so Molly was there and she was sitting, in Mr. Wright's hands. Rocky had found Mr. Wright, his replacement, and he was there, soon to be my husband, and he was holding Molly. And so, Rocky had crossed over. I kissed him. I said, I love you. And he went peacefully into sleep without getting any needles. So after that was all over, I thought, oh, I do not want to go through this again, even though we'll always have pets. So I turned to Molly and I said, could you just do me a favor? Will you just go in your sleep? I don't want to go through this again. So she remembered that. And 15 years later, she set up the situation, the time and the place, exactly how this was supposed to unfold, because she remembered I said, I don't want to go through this again. I don't want to be experiencing this. So this was 10 minutes before I was to go on my live radio show. Now, at the time, I was doing a radio show live on AM station. It was out of Rhode Island, and it was a drive home time, 5 to 6 p.m. And if I didn't show up, there was going to be dead air. So I didn't have a choice if I showed up or not. Like, this dog was smart, right? And so the ritual in our house was the dogs, we had 3 dogs. They all went outside. They had their pee, and they would go aside. They would come in and they would get, on their bed beside me, and I would do the hour show. So Molly went outside, wagging her tail and, happy as anything and chasing toys. And I knew for a year she was full of cancer, but I also heard that it wasn't going to be good for her to be having surgeries. and that she had like she had bumps on her stomach. She never ever showed me pain. What she would do is she would come over to me and she would get up in my arms. We nicknamed her baby Jesus, because she would kind of lay like lay like this and want the healing on her tummy, because that's where the cancer was. And so that, she was fine, never showed any pain in a whole year. Then she goes outside, she comes in, she's shaking and she's covered in blood from these abscesses all bursting. And I said to Ross, oh my gosh, Molly's choosing now. And she gave me the look. So I thought, okay, do I get my producer to run the show? How do I handle this? So I knew that, I remember going back and I got the flashback saying to her, I just go in your sleep. I don't want to go through this again. And she told me, I'm fulfilling your promise, mommy, and I'm choosing daddy to take me. So I said my goodbyes to her in 5 minutes. And then I went to do my show and I told my producer, you've got to get me through this next hour, because, together we're going to feel everything, what Molly's going through. And so did the show, and I was feeling what she was experiencing. And every so often I would say to Chris, my producer, you got to step in and ask the next question, because I just got to send Molly some healing. And so we got through the show, and it was about 45 minutes into the show, in the top corner of my office, Molly appeared with Rocky, and she was happy. She was whole. She was healthy. And she said, Mommy, I want you to know I love you and thank you for being you. And I'm here with Rocky and I'm so happy and I'm never leaving you. And so, I mean, then I had to say in the show, okay, my dog just died, but thanks everyone for getting me through the show and all this stuff. So Molly knew that I had a request. She honored that. She chose a time when I couldn't be there. So why I'm telling you this is, for you, Lori, you weren't there because that baby of yours wanted to spare you. And she had already said her goodbye to you beforehand, as hard as it is to hear, right? She loved you. She continues to love you, and she's not going anywhere. In fact, she's probably taking, if you think about it, you're probably moving in bed to kind of accommodate her still in bed with you. So do you find when you get in bed, you're kind of like moving your body, like as if she's still there, because she's showing me that you kind of know she's there.
Well, she didn't actually sleep in the bed with me.
She is now.
She would have been. Well, she did when I first got her. She did.
Yeah.
But after about a year, she decided she was going to resource guard me. Mm-hmm. And she wouldn't let my other dogs near me. She attacked them all the time. Oh. So I had to keep them separate. Okay. So at night she was actually in her kennel in my room.
Yeah. Well, she's gone back to sleeping on your bed now. So she's very close to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it makes sense. She always was.
Right. And so the why I'm bringing this up and really focusing on this is that so many people get consumed with guilt that they weren't there. And it's not our choice to make. It is your pet or your loved one. They make the choice who's there. My father-in-law, he went to the hospital and they said he had 2 weeks to live and he died within the week. And what happened was he chose Ross, my husband, myself, and my sister-in-law to be there. And the other kids, the other siblings were not there. It was the weirdest situation that came up. But we were ones that were very calm. And that's what he wanted, that whole atmosphere to be calm, right? So our loved ones will choose who's going to be there. So please don't ever feel guilty if your pet crosses and you're not there, because they're ultimately looking out for your best interest and because they love you so much. Okay. Now, I want to explain to you what happens when you die. Okay. So I have had 2 near-death experiences myself, and they were both different. And I've been with people and I've helped many pets cross over. So my personal experience has been, the first one was when I was 21. And when I was 21, I experienced, I was getting my wisdom teeth out, and I had an allergy to anesthetic that they forgot to write on the chart and gave me anesthetic. And so they gave me this anesthetic, and right away I went to this beautiful field of daisies and butterflies, and my childhood dog was a puppy again. And we were together, and I was happy, and it was like everything was fine. I didn't even know that I had crossed over or anything was going on. I just was like focusing on that. And then I woke up, and then I was back in the dentist chair, but this was almost 12 hours later. I didn't even know, because it took them 12 hours to bring me back. So that was the first time. The second time I had the near-death experience was when my intestine burst. I had Crohn's disease, and they told me I had a torn muscle. I went back to the hospital. It turned out my intestine had burst. And so they told me I had 30 minutes to live. And what happened, my body was on the bed, but my soul was coming out of my body, and it was going up, and it was getting lighter and lighter, and it was going like to this white light, like almost like you're going through clouds. You know, when you're in an airplane, you see the clouds. So that's what I was experiencing. And as I kept going up, what was happening, I was getting pain-free. Like it was less and less pain. And I was feeling tremendous love, like I cannot explain. And the joy, it was like a whole new world that I was entering. And so when I got to this certain place, in front of me was all this fog, let's call it thick fog. And I could see black shapes, like they were bodies. And so what happened was two stepped forward, and one was my grandpa Buck, and one was Jesus. And they said to me that it wasn't my time to be there, that I had to go back because I had millions of pets and their owners I needed to help cope. I had to help them to cope and to heal and to move forward in life. And that was my destiny. So I needed to go back because I hadn't fulfilled it yet. Now, at that point, I had a choice that I could have listened and come back, which I did, or I could have ignored that and stayed. But my angels and loved ones chose my grandfather because in my childhood and in my life, he was someone that was my mentor, my best friend, and my, like, if anyone could get through to little stubborn Sagittarius Susie, it was my grandpa. Okay. And so, you know, here he comes and says, no, Susie, not time. And, you know, Jesus is beside him. So how do you say no to that person? Right. So I came back and then just trusted. And I've always remembered that. Like I can see that so vividly. So why am I telling you this? People and pets will experience the same thing. I have been with my father-in-law, like I mentioned, and I sat and I watched the portal open at the side. We were in the hospital room, and it was like a door, like with a like white light. As you open the door, it was like a white light, and then all these ancestors and all their pets that they had came through to be there with him. And there was some like already with him, like my mom and different family members were there with him, and angels. So your pets experience the exact same thing. Their ancestors come, their siblings, their mom and dad come. So that is what your pet experiences. People say animals don't go to heaven. I've been to heaven and I've seen my pets in heaven, you know, when I've gone up. So take comfort in knowing when your pet goes there, that they are happy, they are healthy, they are so loved, but they are not leaving you, and they are always going to support you. And, you know, you will feel them. We're going to talk like very brief, like shortly, about what signs they're bringing you, kind of thing. Okay. Now, before your pet takes their last breath, some things do happen. They do become aware that they're going to be going soon, because they're setting the scene for who's going to be with them, right? And so what happens is, have you ever seen your pet just kind of stop and stare in the air? Okay.
Oh.
Okay. Or
Mhm.
have you ever seen them go maybe to a corner and wag their tail or maybe growl or this kind of thing? Okay. So when they're doing that, they're seeing spirits, they're seeing angels, they're seeing, your loved ones. But when a pet is older and when they are doing this, people think that there's something wrong with them. They have like dementia or something's happening with their mind. But what's happening is they are connecting with these their loved ones, like their siblings, their mom, that the animals that were in their life. They're connecting with them, and they're kind of being prepared to cross over. So that's like how we have ones that help us. These are animals that are getting help as well. One time I was in a hospital, and this woman, she was in her 90s, and she came running out of her, well, running as a 90-year-old could. She came over to me and she said, "You're an angel. God sent you to take me now. I'm ready." And it was really a weird feeling for me, but I've had that said to me quite a lot, that she saw me as this glowing angel, and she thought that I was the angel of death, and that, she saw all these beings around me, and she said, "I'm ready to go." So this kind of thing will happen with your loved ones as well as it happens with your pets as well. Um, so that's what can happen with your pets. When they're getting ready, they know they're setting the scene, and that they are, communicating and they're connecting. So it's not a shock for when they die. Okay. So, okay. What can you do when you lose a pet now? So Lori, this has only been what, a month for you now? Is
Yeah.
this a month? So what I want to say to you is, get your tears out, cry, like, don't hold your emotion in. Some people, they just don't get that emotion out, they hold it in, and then it just builds up and builds up. So you want to take this time and honor yourself and be kind to yourself, and thank yourself for the love that you gave that pet of yours, because that pet of yours has gotten the best love and the best life, and you saved that pet's life. So hold that in your heart and know that, you are responsible for the pet having the life that she did. Okay. And celebrate your pet. And they don't want you crying. And Sai's saying as well, be happy, mommy, be happy. I want you to be happy. And so how do you be happy when your pet's just gone? They're really, I think sometimes they're not being realistic when they say this to us. But what you can do is journal out and write down everything that your pet did that you have great memories over. When you got your pet, how did you get her? What did you do for her? What did she do for you? Because every pet comes into our life for a reason. And that pet is there to teach you. That pet is there to support you, to get you through a challenge or challenges. Okay. So when that pet has, Sai is telling me, by the way, I might be sounding kind of off here, but Sai is saying that her destiny was to be born to be your dog. So if you look back, she got you through stuff. And so now that you've gotten through that, her whole destiny of why she was born, she has fulfilled what she was supposed to do. And so, be grateful, tell her she's with you. And so be grateful to know that you had that time together, journal out, all these amazing things that you felt, and all this stuff that she did for you, because when you go through that, it's going to be very interesting. I feel like it's like, for me, what happened, my journaling, it turned into a speech that I gave at Toastmasters. I didn't even know that my dog was dying, and I'm doing this speech on my dog. And then it turned into an article that was published in 3 countries. It turned into a children's book series. So I feel for you, Lori, there's something that you're going to say in your journaling around Saya that is going to be talked about on your podcast. So you're going to help a lot of people with what you write down about your memories and that. And I see almost like a memorial. Like, are you setting something up around a picture with her or something? Did you do something about her on that?
I didn't. My cousin just sent me, I don't know if you guys can see it. It's a bracelet,
Okay, nice.
and it's got a little, it looks like a bead, but
Mm.
you can look inside of it and it's got a little picture of Saya inside of it.
Yeah, okay, that's the picture. Okay, okay. Yeah, because she's really proud of her picture.
Yeah.
And so she wants you to know that you've got the real deal beside you as
Yeah.
well, right? So, what does she want me to say about that? Yeah, so just know that that little puppy of yours came to you at the exact time when you needed her. And so for Judy, Bentley boy is like so in love with you. Like, that dog is not going anywhere. Like, that dog is hanging on for you. He's
Mhm.
not suffering, but it's like that dog is your soulmate.
Mhm.
And like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Where's the fuss? Where's all this? So yeah. And how old is Bentley?
He'll be 10 in
He'll
January.
be 10. And yeah, so 3 years more, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, so see how, like, they just know, like, here, Lori, this dog of yours gets you through stuff, right? And that now you've gone through it, and now she knows, okay, like, now I can cross over. But I want you to be assured she's not going anywhere. She's right with you. And I'm going to talk in a minute about the signs that you can look for, okay? But Bentley boy, are you sure he's not Sagittarius? Like,
He's January 30th, so I don't know what that
oh,
is.
is that Capricorn?
Hey, Bree, what sign is January 30th? Aquarius.
Oh, Aquarius. Okay, because like, he's so determined. Like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm just not
Mhm.
going anywhere. Don't even talk about this, he says.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Well, and exactly. I think the last time he had kind of a bit of a down slump, and then we did some Reiki on him.
Yeah.
And then shortly after that, my daughter came home. So right now he's got his two favorite people.
Oh, there you go. Well,
Yeah, there's two of us.
yeah. So,
So
but see, it's just, isn't it amazing how, when you know what you know, like, here's this dog deciding, what he's going to do. And that, here's Saya, that, she was born for greatness, and she did her greatness, and she knew it was her time, right? And like, that's the part that kind of sucks, is that they don't live 100 years. I'd love it if my pet would live 100 years, and that's unfortunate part that we have to kind of accept in being a pet owner, right? Now, one of the things that I want to share about how does your pet communicate with you, okay? The first thing I want to say to you about this is that if you are grieving your pet, you will not know. You will not feel the signs. You will not feel you will not hear the messages. You will not have the dreams. And as much as, I've got these abilities, and it's been happening as a child, when I lost Rocky, it was very devastating for me, because that dog got me through a high-risk pregnancy just 8 months after I got him. Then I got diagnosed with Crohn's disease. Then I had 2 near-death experiences. Then I had a life and death pregnancy. My weight went down to 80 pounds. Then I learned that my ex-husband, the husband at the time, had a girlfriend, was abusing us. And then I showed him the door, and then I went on to, healing it and going through. And for me, Rocky was in my life because of the same thing. His destiny, he was born to get me through my challenges, and he did not cross until he found Mr. Right, Ross, who after I went through the divorce, I spent 5 years just working on myself. And so, here comes Ross, and Rocky knew, okay, here's my replacement. It's okay. I'm good to go. And he went 2 months after Ross came in my life. So, when I went through that, even though I know what I know and do what I do, I was still really devastated. And I was also helping Molly through this as well, that was sitting at the front door crying, because that's where the vet had taken him out. And so, I went through, like, trying to help Molly, and I'm feeling Molly and all this kind of stuff. And I couldn't connect. I could not connect as hard as I tried. So what happened, the Christmas Eve came and Ross said, I had this weird thing that happened, and I have to give you a gift, and it has to be when no one else is around. And it's really important I give it to you tonight. And I thought, okay, this is weird. You better not be proposing to me, because I just met you 2 months ago. Like, I all thought kind of thoughts were going through my head. And so anyways, what happened, Ross said that before I opened the gift, that he had this situation come up after Rocky crossed about a week later, that he was drawn to go into a Hallmark gift shop. You have those in the States? We have them in Canada. Okay, so you know what I'm talking about. So now this is not a store that he would ever have gone in, and he's never been in one ever since. And he said he was just drawn to go into this Hallmark store. He said he didn't know what he was doing there, but he knew it was really important. He was guided to go to an area on a shelf, and this thing was glowing. He got it, and he said he felt like a robot just going through steps, and he bought it. And then he said it was important he gave it to me Christmas Eve when no one was around. So he gave me the gift, and I opened it, and what it was a candle holder, and it was 3 angels. And right away, as I opened it, right in front of me appeared my grandpa Buck, who was always with me, my guardian angel, and Rocky. And Rocky said to me, "Mommy, you were too sad to see and feel me. And I'm here, and I have not left you, and I'm not going anywhere." So anytime I'm doing talks, or I was on a TV show about a month ago, and there was one empty chair, and I thought my grandpa and that dog of mine are going to be on that chair. And sure enough, the whole time, if you go to my blog and you can see the TV show, you'll see Marley is on my knee, and he's just staring, and he's watching. And the whole time Rocky is telling Marley, "Be good for mommy, be good for mommy, be good." So I'm getting distracted from that. And then the host of the show, his dog had just crossed over 3 weeks earlier. And as soon as the first question was asked to me, that dog said, "Please tell my owner I'm here with him." And I thought, this is going to be the worst interview ever, because everyone's talking to me, So that's what happened with me, that I had to get out of my grieving. But when I wasn't coming out of it, Rocky chose someone else to bring me out of it. So, if someone comes to you and says, "Hey, I have to do this, I can't explain why, but this is why," that will be from your pets. Okay, so just know that, because they can do that. Now let's talk about signs. So, the one thing that you can feel when your pet's on the other side, or a loved one, is that you can feel a big change in temperature, and it can get colder. Have any of you ever experienced that? Yeah. Lori, have you experienced that?
Sometimes, yeah.
Okay.
On the couch, where we used to say, yeah.
I was going to say it's on the couch for you. So when you feel that temperature change, it's to make you aware that you have your pet or a loved one with you. And so all of you, like on the call tonight, are really surrounded by a lot of loved ones. You've got a lot of amazing people, and there's animals around you. You've got angels. You're so loved, and you're so protected, and you're all just doing amazing stuff. And so you've got that support on the other side. So if you find you feel really cold all the time, I wouldn't be surprised, each one of you, because you've got so much support around you from the other side. So, if you're trying to figure out who is with you, you can get kind of in a meditative state. And if you have trouble meditating, there's a great app that you can go to. It's a free app, and it's called Insight Timer. And we listen to this. For all my life, I get so many messages that I have not slept. And next week I'm turning 60. And for me, this is really big, because I was introduced to this app 2-3 months ago, and this app has me sleeping through the night. And so this is huge for me at finally 60, being able to sleep through the night. Like, never as a child I could, right? So the Insight Timer has like almost I don't know, 150, 200,000 different meditations that you can put on. You choose the one that is right for you, but it can help you to connect, to get into this like really grounded space. And it can help you to feel and connect and hear who is with you. So when you're cold, then you can say, okay, who's with me? And the first thought, vision, name who comes up, that is who is there with you at that time, if that kind of helps you. Now, before we get off the topic about that app, so that app, I wanted to test it. I wanted to see what would happen with that. And, I kept a journal kind of what was happening around animals with the meditations. Now, Marley, who's 9, that's one of our dogs, he was crazy stressed with storms. And I put on a meditation. Now, the guy's name is Kenneth Soares, Soares. And his meditations have, how do I say it? Like they like the high frequency sound that is for healing and letting go, and then the binaural sounds as well. And so I played that 4 nights. You put on, you go to sleep. And within 4 nights, my dog has never been stressed in storms or anything ever again. So if you have a pet that, is going through stuff, put on that meditation for him or her. That's really healing to put on for them. And so between me doing the healing and then the meditations, that's the medicine my pets are getting. And that's it. That's all they get. So it's not something for you to know about. So another way that your pets can communicate from the other side with you is that you can feel tingling. So Lori, at your left side right now, you got Saya with you. So are you feeling any tingling, like any, I'm really putting you on the spot. If you get,
Not really.
right. So, I mean, and it's still, again, it's only 4 weeks, right? So, but be aware of that. Okay. Cause she sits beside you on the couch on your left side. Cause I'm feeling her right at my left side now. Like cause I'm in your body. That's what I'm feeling. Right. So, be aware of that. So if you feel tingling, it's not you having a stroke, it's your loved one or your pet, touching you, hugging you. A lot of times, like I will feel Jesus' hand on me. And when I'm doing a healing on someone, between him and myself, we're doing the healing and I can feel this tingling here because he's got his hand on me. So if you feel tingling, that's a loved one. Ellen, you have got a dog on the other side that's at your feet. So be aware of that, because if your feet feel cold and you feel tingling, they're at your feet right now. Okay. So do you ever find that, we talked about this earlier, that your pet can go to a wall or they can stop and stare, correct? So that is another way that the pets here will connect and tell you that there are pets there. And if you saw, again, going back to that TV show I did, literally the whole time for the half-hour interview, Marley's just literally staring right at Rocky on the screen. Like he was like, the camera did a close up on him to see that. So, watch your pets, because they will let you know that you are not alone and that you are surrounded and that your loved ones and pets are going to be there with you. Okay. Small children, if you have small children or grandchildren, I have a new granddaughter. She's 10 weeks now. And so when I'm holding her, she's doing this, like her eyes are looking all around me. So like her head kind of goes like this. And so her eyes are looking all around and she sees them all around me. Little toddlers, like they'll point. And I have a grandson who's 1.5 years and he points. And so that's how he tells, everybody that, hey, I see this person or this pet. So when a child says they see your pet or they see, grandpa, whoever, they aren't kidding. Like they're not lying to you. It is the real deal. So be aware of that too. Okay. A lot of people, give their kids heck and say, no, you don't know what you're talking about, but they do know what they're talking about. Okay. So that's really important to know. You can hear sounds. You can hear them walking on the hardwood. Um, do you feel say kind of whimpering at the back door? Do you hear her crying? Do you hear sounds from her?
No, I can't say I ever hear any sounds like that, but I have heard it sounds like, because I have wood floors
Yeah.
and
Do you
it
hear
sounds
little
like
footprints?
nails. I heard those too before I lost her. I think my other dogs I could hear, and every once in a while when I'm sitting on the couch, not just that was before I lost Saya too, but
Yeah.
I'd be sitting on the couch watching TV or something, and out of the corner of my eye, I would catch it. Would look like one of my dogs had he was a white and brindle, and
Yeah.
his tail kind of looped over his back,
Yeah.
and I would see his white tail or something like down at the end of the couch. So
There you
I
go. So, yeah.
yeah,
So
I
just
kind of figured they were here.
yeah, and just watch that because like the world is changing so much that the other side is making themselves known. So, like people who never saw before are seeing. So, just be open and the experiences are going to happen, right?
I
So,
do paranormal investigations with my daughters, so
oh, there you go, right?
yeah, we're pretty open.
Yeah, right. So that's great. So yeah, so these are some things you can do. They'll come in dreams. Feathers. I find feathers
Mm.
in the bathroom. White feathers are in our bathroom. And so, I have that happen a lot. Messing with electronics. Oh my gosh, my phone is always up, like booting up again, turning on. And like I'm just crossing my fingers. We are actually getting through this event tonight because like I was doing a call with somebody a week ago and we couldn't keep Zoom going. And then I had to do it through my phone with her and the lights were flashing. It was like, oh my gosh, so it's, expect the unexpected. They can do all kinds of things, right? Does anyone have any questions at this point? Like I'm kind of watching the time here to, be respectful of you. But Judy, do you have a question?
So one of my best friends, her dog passed like a week ago.
Okay.
And a little Cairn Terrier.
Okay.
And he loved coming here, and he was a good friend to Bentley's too. And he was just,
Oh, that's the one you talked about. Okay.
yeah. And anyways, it ended up happening so fast. He just went like from morning to, they went to the vets and he was like full of tumors, and they caught it before the tumors broke.
Yeah.
So I know it was just devastating for Diane, and just, I mean, it's such a shock because it was so fast.
Yeah, and some of them they don't want to put their owners through that, the whole prolonged, like, here you get diagnosed and then okay, what are you going to do, and that kind of thing. So that's a prime example of how that dog chose to make it end fast, right? You can tell her that these signs because her dog is doing the same thing. You can connect us. I can certainly help her and give her the messages. I can also tell her who came, because when that dog crossed, that the dog's mother came over, and so if she saw her dog, what was the dog's name?
Fergus.
If she saw Fergus kind of licking, that was Fergus licking his mom, licking his mom, because they were reconnecting, because she had come to take him over. So yeah, but he went quick. He's no pain.
Yeah.
Happy, he's healthy. He does come to visit Bentley, so watch Bentley, because Bentley, like, they're still playing together, and yeah, so that's another example, right? That how it's just amazing how they make their mind up when it's time, who's going to be there, and they look, a lot of times they will look at what is right for their owner. They want their owner not to suffer, or like I had said, no, I don't want to be there, and that dog never forgot. So they never forget our words, right?
Right. Well, it was so interesting because I had been away. I'd been away for 10 days and I wasn't home until the Monday night.
Okay.
And then her boyfriend was also out of town for like 4 days.
Mm.
And it wasn't until it was like the day after when he came home that that it happened. And it was just like, oh my God, like it was
Yeah.
on Monday. Actually, I came home at I was probably home by about 1 o'clock, and it was at noon that they had to put him down.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely it's a tough time.
Mhm.
I acknowledge that. I've been through that, and I just want to hug everybody that, I want to hug you, Lori, right now, because I can feel you. And and then, Bentley, he's not going anywhere. Like, that dog is just not going anywhere. And
No.
I'm glad, because like, I feel like I'm his adopted stepmom or something like that. When, I hear Bentley, I hear send Bentley Reiki. Okay. So there you go, Bentley, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's just incredible. Now I wanted to let Ellen know, with Sophie, she came, she came through, and that Sophie came into your life, Ellen. I know she's got off the video there. But Sophie has come into your life to teach you the value of having balance and lots of fun in your life. And that, be very careful that you don't get out of balance, because you could get sick again. And that, Sophie's just the party puppy, and that, she's just bringing fun into your home. So don't get frustrated when she's like really ripping through the house, because she really, she's the party puppy. And then another one, Finn came through. Finn's a cat, and he's a very wise soul. And Finn connects with the other side, and he feels that his job in the house is, I'm in charge, and everybody should be listening to me. And that's all there is to it. And they're not listening, and it doesn't make him too happy. So, Finn is doing his best to let everybody know that he's in charge, and that everybody should listen to me. He says again, he tries and tries, because he's doing everything to keep things running smoothly. And that he does see, Ellen, he does see your husband, and he connects with him a lot. And that you need to watch for the odd things that Finn is doing, because that is to tell you that your husband is there with him. And that, in case, you get busy and your husband's there trying to talk with you, and you're not, focused in that place. And so Finn's trying to tell you, hey, daddy's here. And then your husband, this is weird. He says that you smell him. So I feel that, at first I said, what do you mean she smells you? Because, that could be so many things, right? And so he was saying that he wants to confirm that he was with you and your son when you had COVID there recently, and that he's by your son's bed a lot when he sleeps. So he's by his bedside, and that he's rubbing your feet a lot. So you're on your feet quite a lot, but he likes to do that for you. And that I feel in the holiday time that the smell is going to be a cologne or something that is really going to stand out about him. So just know that. And so, that's where there's some messages there. I do want to add that I'm looking at all my notes, because they were all talking to me. So I thought if I don't write them down as people were talking, I would get it wrong. There's a message that an older man who's tall and thin, he's shy, and he guided his daughter to the event tonight. Okay. And he had a form of cancer that he died of. So his message is that he is with your pet. So, Lori, did your dad die of cancer? Was it your dad?
No, my dad didn't die of cancer. My mom's second husband had pancreatic cancer, and my brother died of cancer.
Okay, okay. Because it was a tall, thin man. This is a tall, thin man.
My brother was tall and thin, but he's younger than me.
Okay, but he died of, okay, because he's saying this is, okay, he says an older man. But how old was he when he died?
He was 33.
Okay. Okay, well, this older man, tall, thin, and said that he's with your pet. So maybe this is a grandfather. It's a father figure. Okay.
It could be I mean, it could be my father. He had, well, maybe cancer was in there, who knows, but he had heart failure. He had,
There's a
I
whole lot going on in him.
yeah, yeah. He had quite a bit going on. He had bad health right at the end.
Yeah. So just know that he's with Saya. Okay. And then, so this is really funny because I had this little short Italian lady come through to me as well. Of course, it was in the bathroom when I'm in the bathroom. And so she said that this is for a person who's going to watch the replay. So I'm going to add this in here so she'll hear this. And that this lady this is a middle-aged Italian lady, and your mother is very short and very stout and very on a mission to make you listen to her still. Even though she didn't get through to you when she was alive, she's on a mission now to get through to you. And that she said that you need to listen to this lady. And her finger was going as she was saying that. So, if you've have a mother that was Italian, short and stout, and that you were guided to hear this replay, it is your mother that made this happen. She wants to be heard. So, so that's it. And then, I'm just watching the time. I want to make sure we finish on time here for your sakes. I want you to know that some of you already know I've worked with you, that if you want more time and want a consultation, I can do that through Zoom with you. You just have to go to my website, youranimalcommunicator.com. I now have gift certificates online that you can get. I know, exciting times, right? Technology. Thank goodness for these my gurus. Right? I give them full credit for that. And then also, we've been talking about Signs from Your Beloved Pet. I do have an ebook on Signs from Your Beloved Pet. You can see that on there. So there's more information about how signs and how they talk about coming through time and different other ways. And there's different stories in there. So that's on my website as well. And also, I'm going to be doing a level 1 Reiki class on July 16th and 7th. Sorry, January 16th and 7th. I want the warm weather.
Long-term planning.
What's that?
Long-term planning.
I know, right? So, if you're wanting to learn how to do healings on your pets, that I have that, and you can book that through your animal communicator.
What was it again? January
16th and 17th. And Ellen can tell you, she did her training. Yeah. Yeah. I think it wasn't in your class that we had chickens and roosters. Was that your class?
Say that again?
Okay. Was it in your class that we had the lady, her pets were chickens and rooster? Was that your class?
I don't think so.
Not in your class? Okay. Yeah.
No. But I'm ready for level 2.
Are you? Okay. Well, now you're better, right? So
Yeah.
We can talk after. So yeah, so is there any other questions you may have around everything I've talked about tonight?
No.
Everyone's good? Good. Okay, well, I'm here for you. Sorry, Ellen?
I was just going to say thank you for sharing. It's always fascinating listening to you talk.
Yeah. My family didn't tell me that, so I'm going to really let them hear this recording, right?
Well, I'm happy to have a conversation with you while I'm in a good space and not in dire need and having my SOS call.
I know, right? Well, I'm thrilled to see, Bentley's doing so great, and he's always on my mind. And I'm looking at Bentley right now. So I have done Reiki on you all and all your pets here and on their side for an hour and a half. So that's a long time to do Reiki. So I'm seeing Bentley's out cold behind you there. So don't panic if he's like that tomorrow, because it's all, what I do Reiki on and what happens, right? So, and Lori, don't, I feel like you're going to be kind of more tired because you're going to be doing releasing and letting go. And so when you feel tired, just honor that time and take that time for yourself. Okay. Be kind to yourself and just, get into the meditative state, put on the Insight Timer. It's a free app. And, that can help you connect and get grounded. And then when you're grounded and then you'll be open and you'll hear. I mean, you know how it works. You do the investigation, right? Paranormals.
Yeah. And
right?
Yeah, we do that. And yeah, I do a little work with an energy healer here and there too,
Okay.
when she does some stuff every once in a while too. So that's been
Perfect.
kind of
Perfect. Well, that's good. Well, I want to thank you for joining me tonight. And I hope that something that I have said will have brought you some peace and comfort and some healing. And I'm just a phone call away if you need me. And I love you all. And I love all your babies on this side and the other side. So thank you for sharing them with me. And I just want to send you all big hugs and much love. So
Awesome.
we will talk again.
thanks.
Bye,
We
guys.
appreciate it.
Sue.
Bye.
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 Bye.